Safta, why are we looking up at the clouds? Lying down and looking up at the clouds?
It's a good question, Momo. Why are we? What do you notice with the clouds and what's happening?
That the clouds are moving, there's a lot of wind, and they're changing shapes.
That is so good that you notice that. Let's sit up and talk about it. Can you imagine the clouds not moving, Momo?
No, I can't.
Well, in this week's Parsha, it talks about the journey in the desert of the Jewish people. How did they know when to stop and rest and when to go? Which direction they were supposed to journey in? Well, Hashem sent the clouds, the Anan, and when the clouds covered the Mishkan, the tabernacle, with the 10 commandments, then the people knew it was time to stop. And when the clouds started to move, they knew it was time to continue their journey. It's actually written in the Torah, in Hebrew, on the day the tabernacle was set up, the clouds covered the tabernacle, and that was a tent for the testimony. And in the evening, there would be upon the tabernacle. Can you read that for me in Hebrew? Okay, here it is.
וביום פרקים את המשכן, כיסא הענן את המשכן לאור עדות, ובערב יהיה על המשכן כמראה אש עד בוקר.
Excellent. So when we were sitting and watching the clouds, it was amazing to watch it. Can you imagine if it stopped? Only Hashem could make that happen. And that would be a miracle. Another activity is to draw clouds and making a tent over the Mishkan. Do you want to show us? We made a fun collage using clouds, cotton wool, and orange and yellow paper for the Mishkan. Hold it up, Momo. And that's great. Hashem also commands us to make two silver trumpets that are for summoning the assembly. Can you show us what it looks like? To call all the camps to journey. It was like the shofar blasting, which told Bnei Israel when to move forward, when to stop, when to gather. These trumpets were very important because the different trumpet blasts sounded were for different things. Not only for stopping and going, but also when there was war and when there was time to offer sacrifices, korbanot for the holidays. The Rambam explains that it was a mitzvah to blow these trumpets anytime there was trouble in the land of Israel. Last week, do you remember? We heard the sirens when the rockets came over from the Gaza. And those sirens warned us to go to safe rooms, our miklats, till the danger passed. Okay, blow it. And the sirens gave warnings for us, and they told us without talking what to do. And that's how Moshe called the people with the trumpets. The trumpets were a very important part of letting the people know what was happening. A great food idea for this week is we made trumpets from cones and decorated them. Show me how you can play them before you eat it. Very good. The trumpets actually were silver, and they were hammered out of silver. Or just try and make one with paper and silver foil and pretend to blow it like Momo does. There's so much more to talk about in this week's Parsha. There's also the menorah, the Pesach offerings, Bnei Israel complaining about the food, and then Hashem sending the meat, the quails, as well as Miriam's taras. However, we're going to end off with a very interesting thought. Your name is Shlomo Moshe. The Torah also talks about Moshe's personality in this week's Parsha, something we can all learn. Moshe was the most humble being, more than anybody else in the world. Do you know what the word humble means?
What?
A humble person understands that he's been given gifts from Hashem, from God, or powers, not just for himself, not for his personal fulfillment, rather for influencing the world. It's not about I did this and I did that and therefore I'm great. That's a very selfish way. Humility or humbleness is literally taking away the I, the ego, and doing tasks and trying to improve the world. Humility is a very important quality. And it says because Moshe was humble, he wasn't concerned about his own self-image. He was rewarded by calling the Torah Torat Moshe, the Torah of Moses. The Talmud in Tanit also talks about how important it is to have humility when we learn Torah. And so we all need to learn to be humble. So I want to say Shabbat Shalom from Safta Laya and from
Momo.
Go. If you like this video, please subscribe.